Today's notes are on exponential growth and decay. Exponential growth is when something is increasing. Exponential decay is when something's decreasing. So the graphs that we learned about yesterday were exponential. Some were growing and some were decaying. The formula for both of them is exactly the same if you look here, except when it's growing, it's positive, and when it's decaying, it's negative. In both formulas, y represents the final amount, a represents the initial amount, or what we are starting with. R represents the rate, but it has to be expressed as a decimal. It's always going to be given to you as a percent, so we need to change the percent to a decimal every time. Remember, in order to change a percent to a decimal, we move the decimal 2 places to the left. And then T always represents time. If they don't tell you where to round to, you need to remember money is always 2 decimal places unless they tell you differently. People or living things need to be a whole number, and all other answers will be rounded to how they state them. So the first problem we're going to look at says the original value of a painting is $1,400. The value of the painting increases by 9% each year. Find the value of the painting in 25 years. So what I always tell kids to do is write over here A equals, R equals, and T equals. That's the A, the R, and the T up here. Those are always going to be in your problem. Then I always say write which equation you are using. Always write the equation before you plug in. If it says we are increasing, we need to use our growth formula. So y equals A times 1 plus R raised to the T. If we reread our problem, the original value of the painting is $1,400. So our A value is $1,400. The value of the painting increases by 9%. So that is your rate. But remember, you need to move the decimal 2 places left. If there is no decimal shown, remember it's right after the number. So I'm going to move it 1, 2. So it's going to be equal to 0.09. Because you got to put a 0 in that placeholder. And remember, once you change it to a decimal, the percent symbol goes away. And then your time is in 25 years. They want to know the value. So I'm just going to plug those values in for those letters in the problem. So 1,400, 1 plus 0.09 raised to the 25. You can type all of that in your calculator at once. So I'm going to turn my calculator on, clear it out. I'm going to do second plus 712 because we were graphing yesterday and changed a bunch of stuff. Clear it out. I'm going to type 1,400 parenthesis 1 plus 0.09 parenthesis caret key to go to the power to the 25th. Hit enter. So y is equal to 12,072, and it was money to start, so we can go out 2 decimals, 0.31. Because it's money, we want a dollar sign there, and we always box in our final answer. Now, if you don't have a graphing calculator, you can easily type that in any regular calculator. I'm going to show you guys how to do it in a regular calculator. First, start with what's inside the parentheses. You'd want to follow PEMDAS. So do 1 plus 0.09, hit enter. Then you're going to need to raise it to the 25th power. Even if you're using a phone, if you turn it sideways, it does have the caret function. So I'm going to say 1.09 raised to the 25, hit enter. And then that is times the 1,400. And that's how you get that answer. So you can just do it in pieces. Let's look at the next problem. It it says the population of a town is decreasing at a rate of 1% per year. Currently, there are 1,300 people in the town. Find the population after 8 years. So this is the important information every time. The starting, the percent, the time, and then if we're increasing or decreasing. So again, I'm gonna come over here and do A, R, and T equals. Currently, there are 1,300 people, so that's our A. Our rate is our percent, but remember, I need it as a decimal, so move it over. So 0.01, and our time is 8 years. We are decreasing this time, so we want to use our decreasing formula. So remember, the decay formula is the same as the other one, it just has a minus sign. So y equals A, 1 minus R to the T. I'm just going to fill everything in like I did last time. 1,300, 1 minus 0.01 raised to the 8. Y equals, I'm going to type it all in at one time in my calculator, and then again I'll show you guys how to do it if you don't have a graphing calculator. Even in a scientific calculator, you guys should be able to type this in all at once. 1,300, parenthesis, 1 minus 0.01 raised to the 8. Hit enter. 11, and now be careful, we're talking about people, so it has to be a whole number, okay? So 1,199. And now you never round people up or down, so you can just keep it where it is because you don't want to guess part of a person. And you want to label it, so we want to say people. And that's our final answer. You would do this the same as the other one. Start within the parentheses, so 1 minus 0.01. Get your answer. 0.99 is going to be raised to the 8. Then you're going to times that number by 1,300. And that's how you get that same answer. We'll do a couple more. I'm probably not going to do all of these on the video because they're the same thing over and over again, and the filled in notes are posted for you. Okay? If a population of 100 grows by 6% each year, how large will the population be in 20 years? So A equals R equals T equals. So we're starting with 100. Our rate is 6%, but remember we need it as a decimal, so I'm going to move it over 2 spots. So we get 0.06, and our time is 20. We are growing, so we are going to use our plus formula. Just fill in the numbers, so A is 100. R is 0.06, and our T is 20. I'm going to type it in my calculator. So 100, parenthesis 1 plus 0.06, raised to the 20. And we get, remember we're talking about people again, so 320 people. Because we haven't quite made it to the 21st person yet, so we don't want to jump up to them. Okay, let's see which one we're going to do next. Let's look at number 4, because there's 2 pieces of number 4 I want to talk about. It says a piece of equipment costs $8,000, depreciates each year by 10%. To the nearest dollar, what will the equipment be worth after 5 years? So A equals, R equals, and T equals. So in this one, they don't actually say increase or decrease or grow or decay. The word depreciate is the key word here. Depreciate means it's going down. If you've ever heard your parents talk about the value of the car depreciates the second you drive it off the lot or anything like that. So depreciates, we're going to use our minus formula. So anytime you see depreciate, know that it's minus. The other reason I wanted to talk about this one, our A is 8,000. Our percent is a double digit, so I want you guys to be careful. Okay, 10%, the decimal's here, so 1, 2. So we don't need to add any zeros into this one because it was 2 spots that we had to move over. And then our time is 5 years. So Y equals 8,000 1 minus 0.10 raised to the 5. Bring my calculator over, clear out what's in there. 8,000, parenthesis 1 minus 0.10 raised to the 5. And we're talking about money, so we will go 2 decimal places. And in this case, it already did go right to 2 decimal places. 5 is pretty much the same as ones we've done. It says the word increase right in it for you. Notice number 26 says depreciation again, so we're going to want to go down. This one talks about losing air, so we're going to want to go down. Notice they tell you where to round the nearest whole number on this one. And that one has a raising tuition, so that means it's going up. But each of these are exactly the same over and over again. If you have any questions, you can let me know.